All right, my friends, we just got in the car. I'm gonna let this go by me. It's a Wednesday, just got home from work. We're gonna get a track workout in, but like I gotta park a little bit away from the track, which sounds dumb. Like I'm getting in the car to drive someplace to then park, then run to the track. But I want a little bit of a warm up, and I don't like to do that at the track. So we are going to drive a little bit closer, kind of to the neighborhood where I used to live, park, run about a mile to the track. Then we're gonna do some 200 repeats with kind of a 400 meter like jog recovery in between. We're gonna get some good miles in, and then yeah, we'll come back, we'll talk about it. And this will be kind of my first real workout in the ASICS Magic Speed 3. So I am done driving and talking to you. So yeah, I'm gonna get there. I'll do a little bit of filming. We'll do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. We got the green light. All right, I'll see you in a little bit. Dude. This thing's recording, right? All right, my friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about the track workout that I just did, six times 800 meter workout. But you saw some of the footage. So now I'm gonna kind of just break down that workout, and then I'm gonna give you a first impressions of these bad boys, ASICS Magic Speed 3. This was my first proper session in these guys, and I have to say, they're interesting. Stick around. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. Hit the mic. Okay, so in general, today's workout was something I was going back and forth on. We're in the middle of the week. I had a long day at work, got like a half-hour commute. I know that's not very long, but it was just something I was going back and forth on. And I was like, hey, let's get out. Let's get this done, and I'll feel really good about it. And that's almost always the case with these types of things. So I got in, changed, drove over closer to the track, not all the way to the track though. I still left about a 0.8 mile kind of warm up cool down distance from the track. I like to do that. It gives me kind of that peace of mind that I'm still gonna make sure I do something rather than just sit down, get in the car, go home. And it also just forces me to basically do that because I may not trust myself. Once we got to the track, we did a little bit of activation, high knees, skipping, butt kicks, that kind of stuff, just to like work out any kinks I'd gotten from the warm up. And then we jumped into the 6 times 800 meter repeats. I did about a 645 to 655 pace. Like my 800 meters were about 320. I feel like my average is probably about 322 to 325 on each of those, with a 400 meter recovery jog. I pretty much just do the recovery jog in between each one because it gets me, at the end, an extra mile or two, which is great because I can kind of use those miles to my advantage. Overall, I kind of just felt really smooth at the quicker paces in the Magic Speed 3s. Obviously, this is a big change. I've been doing a lot of miles in the Nimbus 25s, which is kind of a clunky daily trainer in comparison. And by smooth, I mean like the turnover. Like obviously when you're working harder, it's harder. But I definitely just felt kind of good and comfortable and in control with the turnover, which is kind of just a really good it's a good sign for me that I'm not, pushing super hard. I'm not going to knock on wood, I'm not going to an injury zone. It's always possible. You never know. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about things. I feel like overall I've had a very positive last month or so, building on some training, and things have just been a little bit wild with the trail half. About 8 days of recovery. Yesterday I did a 2 mile just like shakeout to see how I was feeling. Was feeling good. And today about 6.5 miles from the speed work with the warm up and the cool down. So and now we've got 3 days until a road 10K, which I don't even know what the course looks like yet. So it could be hilly. Pretty good chance it'll be hilly. I know it's in my hometown, so it's a hilly place. If you know. But fingers crossed it's flat, and maybe we can really push for a pretty good time. I haven't raced a 10K in a really long time. I honestly need to look up my 10K PB. And if it's flat, I think we could do some pretty good stuff here. All right, so now we're going to talk about the real goods, kind of a first impressions of the ASICS Magic Speed 3. This was a proper workout, so I feel like I've got a good vibe for them. Neutral road runner 7mm drop, and I feel like it falls kind of right in the middle in terms of how much cushioning you are getting. You have a full length carbon fiber plate in this bad boy, sandwiched between 2 layers of FF Blast Plus. There's no, this isn't recycled FF Blast Plus. This isn't, I don't know. There's nothing I believe different about it other compared to their Pro, Meta Speed Sky Plus, and those their Pro End shoes. So it's just less stack, which is cool. I mean, it feels good. It feels good underfoot. Looking a little bit above that, you have essentially what I would assume is the same as their race day kind of upper. It's very thin, very minimal. Light is flying through it as you look through it. Super transparent. If you wear dark colored socks, you're going to see it directly through the toe box. That being said, good structure to the heel. I did not feel like I was sliding. It definitely has more of that race day fit. Note to self, these are a 10.5. I run, that's kind of how I run true to size is a 10.5. But these are definitely on the tighter side. But that being said, with this type of material and upper used, I would rather it be a little bit tighter because there's less, I guess, structure to kind of support your foot. So in this case, it's kind of better is going to give, at least in my opinion, less rubbing, less chance of hot spots and blisters. So ultimately it's for the best in my opinion. So underfoot, I would say it felt lightweight, especially compared to the Nimbus 25 that I'm doing a lot of miles in. I thought the cushion was there. It was not excessive. I thought the plate, I guess, probably did a good job of combating the cushion while also not being too firm. That's kind of what I think a lot of people have the idea of when they think of a full length carbon fiber plate. And it is it feels firm. It's definitely in there, definitely all the way through. But it doesn't go too far to be a super firm ride. It felt, I was really trying to figure out how I wanted to express this, but it felt like I didn't feel. Sometimes when a shoe's light, for me, it feels almost like they're not even there, but awkward, almost like a dog with booties on. You kind of feel gangly or just uncoordinated. That's just a really weird way for me to explain it. Maybe some people out there are oh yeah, totally get it. Didn't get that with this. And sometimes I do with really lightweight shoes. So that's it's a very subjective, hopefully you got something kind of point. But I think it's important because, this isn't just a race day shoe. It's tempo days, speed work days. I'll probably do a bunch of long runs in these shoes too. So it's not just that, poppy, snappy, super lightweight shoe. It's a little bit of that speed that you may also use on race day. And that kind of brings it home, I think, that the pop isn't aggressive with this for the carbon plate, but that's exactly what I am looking for. And to be honest, it kind of reminds me a lot of the Saucony Endorphin Speed 1s. Similar kind of surface area on the outsole, kind of narrow, a nice soft cushion. They've got their, Power Run PB in that shoe, but they had a nylon plate, which kind of gave it that little firmness with a little bit of pop. I kind of get a very similar feeling from this. That was definitely the closest thing I could relate to it. But yeah, I think overall, like, a lot of fun. I think personally, I will do a lot of different types of runs in this. I may find something at slower pace. It seems to be that people at slower paces don't really like the shoe as much, or just don't feel like they're getting the best bang for their buck, or the most efficient, I guess, running. And so yeah, I'm curious to try out at a bunch of different distances, and definitely curious about how they're going to feel after I put in a bunch of miles. So that is it from me. This was a lot of fun in terms of a workout. I always like getting out on the track because I don't get to do it much. But yeah, looking forward. I'm chilling for a couple days, and we got the 10K on roads this Saturday. I will be doing that in the Magic Speed 3s. Doesn't matter what the course is, but my pace and actual time will be heavily impacted by whatever the course eventually looks like. But excited to push it. 10K is a fun distance. I don't get to do it too often, so stay tuned. That being said, appreciate anyone watching these videos. Stay safe out there. Enjoy your runs, and I will see you in the next one. It's definitely a nice looking shoe. That's something I didn't say in the actual video, but I love a good white colorway personally. Don't know how long they're going to be white, but we'll take what we can.